I want to welcome everyone here tonight. My name is Sandra Pinavaya. I am first and foremost a proud parent of 3 School for Children alumni. I also am co-chair of the School for Children Endowment Campaign with my good friend David Geyer. David's here. And also I'm a trustee of the college. Our family has been a part of the Bank Street community since 1996. And I'm just back from a very moving weekend for my now college senior who had convocation at Williams College this weekend. So I'm inclined to call tonight's event a convocation of sorts. It's a gathering and celebration of a beginning. Before we get started tonight, I want to thank a few people and make sure that you know who is here and who's responsible for this event, which is, I think, just absolutely lovely. So David Geyer, I have already introduced, is here as the campaign co-chair. And tonight we really need to thank Rose Klein-Young, Lori Malloy, and Nina Sanger, who have put this party together. You guys did a terrific job, and I will say that it was really their inspiration to have a public phase of this campaign, which is both celebratory and really important to the campaign's success. So why are we here? Tonight we are kicking off many things. We're kicking off the school year, of course. We're kicking off the presidency of Shale, who we'll introduce formally in a minute. And we're really kicking off the community phase of this historic School for Children endowment effort. And I say historic because it is historic. It's the first time that the School for Children at Bank Street has done a dedicated endowment campaign. And the risk of just telling you what you already know, of course, an endowment is all about security for the future. It's about raising a sum of money that will secure, in the phrase of our campaign, a progressive future for the School for Children. So our goal is an $8 million goal. We are very, very close, and I'm very happy to announce that as of now, we've already secured $7.1 million towards that goal. This is absolutely amazing. This will, if we are successful at getting to the $8 million, we will quintuple the prior endowment of the School for Children. So our goal is to hit that number by the end of January, and frankly, my personal goal, and I know David's is as well, to exceed that number. So we're hoping that the entire community can come together to help us reach that goal, while simultaneously not forgetting about our annual fund as well. So I want to thank all of you who have already given to the campaign. I want to thank all of the teachers who are here, who have helped us come to love this place so much and have done so much for our children. And with that, I want to also just thank the the college's development staff, especially Carla Scheel and John Borden, who have done so much to get this started. So we have a short program tonight, but I'm very pleased to introduce you next to the new chair of the board of the Bank Street College Board of Trustees. This is Yolanda Farrell-Brown, who is also a proud parent.
Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here in my new role as board chair, particularly at this moment in Bank Street's history. I became a parent here in 1989, so I have been around a very long time and completely blown away by the success of this campaign. So it's a pleasure to come here tonight to launch the public phase and to celebrate its success to date. What an amazing, unprecedented accomplishment to hit 7.1 million. And it's fantastic. And thank you so much, Sandra and David, for your leadership. And special thanks to each of our campaign donors for your support. In my experience, people feel motivated to give to institutions for many different reasons, but in almost every case, their gifts reflect a belief in the quality and integrity of the leadership team and their vision for the institution. So on behalf of the board, I thank you for believing in the promise of Bank Street's future. Your gifts will allow us to build on our strengths as we reimagine progressive education for the 21st century. It's our hope that everyone in the community will participate in this important effort. Earlier, I mentioned this as a special time in Bank Street's history. You might say that we are really cooking on all burners since Shale's arrival, and he'll elaborate more on that in a few minutes. But some of the highlights are that we have successfully concluded 3 accreditation processes. We've forged several new profitable partnerships and collaborations. We've initiated a strategic planning process at the board level, and we're laying the groundwork for the celebrations surrounding the college's 100th anniversary in 2016. So stay tuned for more exciting news in the future. And now I'd like to introduce our new president and the first president to graduate from the graduate school at Bank Street, Shale Polikow-Saransky, or Bank Street School Shale PS.
Thank you, Yolanda, and thank you for everyone who came this evening. And it's so exciting to see multiple generations of families here tonight together who attended the school, whose children and grandchildren have attended the school, and people have traveled far and wide to be here. And it's a really important moment for Bank Street because for many years it wasn't actually part of the culture here to raise money, and we sort of made things work with sticky tape and glue, and we did build something very powerful. But we actually are at a moment now where we can take what we've learned through decades of experimentation and research and turn it into something very, very special, not just for the kids in this building, but for kids beyond this building as well. And so before I sort of share a little bit about that vision, I want to just tell you briefly about how I became connected to Bank Street. Yolanda mentioned that I graduated here with my master's, but I actually feel like I got a Bank Street education as a child too. My mom was never a student here, but she was a student of many of Bank Street's leading thinkers. Her field is child development. And as I was growing up, she was studying Bank Street from afar and practicing that both in her academic work as well as in the way she was raising me. And so as I came to Bank Street as an adult, it felt like returning to part of my own family. And the beginning of September, we had the Barbara Biber lecture. I called my mom and I asked her what was her favorite article by Barbara Biber, who was one of her idols as she was developing as an academic and as a student. She pointed me to a speech that Barbara gave in 1951 at Vassar. And I wanted to just share a brief quote from that speech because I think it captures a lot of what we're trying to do together here. Barbara was writing about how kids develop and the importance of play. And she wrote, "He projects his own pattern of the world into the play, and in so doing, brings the real world closer to himself. He is building the feeling that the world is his to understand, to interpret, to puzzle about, to make over. For the future, we need citizens in whom these attitudes are deeply ingrained." In those 2 short sentences, she managed to capture both what is good practice for a teacher or a parent working with young children, but she also managed to reveal the idea that agency and a child's ability to make meaning in the world is central to who they become as an adult and what kinds of citizens we have in the world. And Bank Street's mission has always been about giving children thoughtful and supportive education, but something more too. The ability to bring into the world folks who are critical thinkers, who are creative, who really have that sense of agency to go out and shape the world around them. And in some ways, that is Bank Street's greatest contribution, is the kids and the adults who leave here each year and go out into the world. And our challenge is, how do we nurture that? How do we keep that very special thing that makes Bank Street what it is alive and growing? And that's part of why we're all here tonight. Because in order to do that work, we need, first and foremost, to think about how we support the educators in this institution. The teachers in the School for Children are some of the strongest teachers I've ever encountered in my 20 years teaching and working as a school leader and as an administrator. And the first thing I did when I started my work here at Bank Street, even before my first day, was to spend some time learning alongside our teachers and sitting in on their classes and trying to help. And what I learned from that experience is that every single moment of the day, there are creative, strategic, emotionally supportive, thoughtful decisions being made as teachers navigate their work with young people. And so the funds that we're raising here and the goal of an endowment, I think first and foremost is about how do we support the educators in our community, and how do we make a foundation that ensures they are nurtured and have the room and the time to develop. And then the second powerful thing is the kids. How do we create a community that truly reflects New York City, that truly reflects our aspirations for the society that we want to live in, where every child who wants an opportunity to be part of this community has a shot at that, and that too requires resources, and that too is why this campaign is so important. And when you combine those two things with the ideas that have been deeply embedded in our practice, the ideas that Barbara talked about and so many of us have worked to develop over the years, you get something magical. And that is Bank Street. And I'm proud to have the chance to work together with you, get to know you, learn more about the place, and work with you to make it stronger and build a place that not only is a resource for the families in this room and in our community, but a resource for the families across the city and across the country. So thank you, and I look forward to that work together.
Thank you, Shale. Good evening, everybody. I'm Alexis Wright, Dean of Children's Programs. Welcome to tonight's event. Thank you. I think in many ways this is obviously a special opportunity, but it represents a real crossroads for Bank Street. You know, as we look forward to the future, our 100 years, Shale's leadership, and the opportunities to continue the conversation about progressive education and bring it to the fore. So I came to Bank Street 6 years ago. When I was here, at first I talked a lot about sustainability. And I think we've always focused on sustainability of the curriculum and the program, which is obviously due to the strength of our amazing faculty. So they have the ability, the freedom to think deeply, to create, to reflect, and to design. And they do this day in and day out, and more than anything else, they are what make this place so special. Our recent 10-year NICES accreditation process affirmed the strength and importance of our program, as the visiting team remarked that the Bank Street School for Children is what progressive education looks like when done right. So by continuing our strategic focus on program with a new strategic focus on endowment, it means that we're able to strengthen our fiscal health through a much more financially sustainable model and produce a new revenue stream for the school which will support our mission in the areas of socioeconomic diversity, supporting our faculty, and educational excellence. So the past few years of planning for this campaign and its execution have been tremendously exciting. We've had many accomplishments and successes along the way. We've renewed relationships with alumni, with grandparents. We've had tremendous support from the parent body. Last year, we secured a lead gift of $1 million, which is the largest gift in the history of the School for Children. So it's been exciting, but it's also important as we extend the campaign into the larger community that we keep the momentum going. So we want and need the entire community to participate in the effort, and we're not going to be successful without everybody's help. And if you think about it, the beauty of it is that we have this model already. And so we talked about the annual fund a little bit. It's been crucial in the life of the school. And last year we had a record-setting 97% parent participation in the annual fund. I assure you that that participation is the envy of many, many independent schools across the city and the country. And it shows what we as a community can do when we have a common purpose, a common belief, and a common set of goals. And so we're all here tonight because we believe deeply in our faculty, our children's experience in the school, our progressive philosophy, and the diversity represented by our community. So we're working hard to sustain all of those aspects of Bank Street, and I'm excited again that we've raised $7.1 million towards our $8 million goal. So we're just about 90% of the way there. So I want to thank all the campaign donors and campaign leaders, in particular Sandra Pinabaya and David Geyer, our co-chairs, and the entire steering committee, and as well as our annual fund volunteers who will be joining forces this fall as we invite all parents to make a pledge to both the annual fund and the endowment campaign. I promise you that the school will continue to make great strides, and I thank all of you for your incredible generosity and support as we work to secure a progressive future. Thank you.